Hey Leuven, and welcome back once again to Decisive Campaigns and Blitzkrieg from Warsaw to Paris. This episode is brought to you by my Patreon supporter, Pumlarau. With that said, let's get started. Let's take a look. So, the AI, let's take a look at their history. Some artillery, where we lost a little bit. Here, nothing. And that's about it. They moved a couple of units, but yeah, we'll have to go and deal with it. I've been thinking that maybe this is the time to start playing the 7th Fleet Division. I still would like to try and avoid the terror bombardment, depending on how things go, because it is 30 political points. Again, it's a game I don't personally care about, whatever atrocities or something. Obviously, in real life, I do care, but from a gameplay perspective, I will take what measures as should be necessary. If I can't defeat the Dutch without terror bombing, then I'll do terror bombing. But yeah, let's just take a look. So I want to deploy the 7th Flieger. And if we look at, well, let's wait for a second. So there are a couple of areas where I could technically deploy them. I could deploy them near Utrecht, Amersfoort, Hilversum, something like that. Down here near Rotterdam, which is also 2 points. And The Hague. Or up here. And this is potentially the easiest area to drop them, I think, because The Hague is their capital. 100% it's going to be filled. I also believe they get their supplies from The Hague, if I'm not mistaken. I need to take a look at the briefing. Allies. The Belgians, the Dutch. From The Hague, yeah, and 500 from Vlissingen, which is all the way down here. So they're going to defend The Hague, obviously. This is also an evac point, but it doesn't give them any VPs. And since Amsterdam is also 2 VP, it's probably a good idea to try and land around this area. We'll see how that goes then. That takes 3 points away from them, whereas currently they're at 54. That will put them at 51, and with terror bombing, technically that would put them at 41. So then, if I defeat a couple of their units, that would make it so that they'll probably... They'll have a good chance at surrendering at that point. That is, if I do the actual terror bombing. But let's deploy it, and let's just... What? No, I don't want any fields. What? Oh, come on. What? Okay, I'll be back. I did not want to deploy it there, so, sorry, I have to reload. Alright, back. Like I said, that was really silly. I don't know why that happened. Must have clicked on here. I have no. I don't think I did say play card. Anyway, I want. Yeah, let's put it in the middle here so they can go either to Haarlem or Amsterdam. There we go. We have 14 recon and 59, so we know there's nothing in that. And yeah, there's nothing in Amsterdam itself. Okay. So that gives me 3 points. That's pretty good. I don't think it will be easy to get around there. Okay, so they do have some forces down there. I can't allow them to take these. But we'll see what kind of effect that has. move the 227th. Okay. Together with the train. Now, generally, I do like to take care of the easy stuff, or easier stuff first, so to say. So, let's do that. Okay, so they have some units in Victon. That's a 2nd Cavalry Division with some serious tank support. I'm not too sure how happy I'm about that, because that does constitute a significant force. But both of these, okay, this is 16th Army, and 16th Army is gonna, let's just move them into Luxembourg here. At the very least. These guys are gonna go down and try to look for a crossing of the Meuse somewhere around there, so we'll see. Either way, this is 65, 75. So at 65, I can actually use that artillery for a little bit. It's not too much, but it's something. Yeah, see, I got 100 men. And every little bit counts, especially in this game, which is hard enough as it is, I think. Yeah, so 65, 55. Going in here will allow me to get another 100. Not bad. And yeah, let's go. You can stay in Luxembourg for now. We'll bring them up later. So all of these are part of the 12th Army up here. So we also have the reserve forces. Now these will also be looking to move forward. I have plenty of units here, part of the 4th, which is part of the 12th. I could try to move down through there, but the 12th does need to extend quite a bit. So, the 29th. Let's just see how far I can get these guys, preferably on this side already. Yeah, let's do that. So like, this is already interesting, the fact that we did not actually take those hexes in our zone of control. It's a dead giveaway that they have something here on this side. For sure. I wonder if they would have something in Karlsburg. They do. It's good that I stopped beforehand. I could... Yeah, the question is, I don't know how they are moving at this stage, so I don't want them to go down and then up and then run into enemy units. They have the 5th Cavalry, so 2nd Cavalry down here and the 5th Cavalry Division up here. Now, one thing that I do want to do is I want to move. Yeah, definitely. I want to try and encircle the Belgian forces around this area. Which I can. Okay, perfect. So that's a marginal encirclement. I mean, it's not the absolute biggest, but it's not bad. I think that will also allow me to go and look for crossings over the Meuse over here. And it means the 6th will be spread around a little bit, looking for those crossings. I don't necessarily need to cross at Sedan, obviously. It's more a question of what is most suitable. Now, I will be using the 4th Army around here to mop up these units that are now encircled. Let's move by road. I'll put engineers in Marseille because then they will not go and entrench in the city. I'd rather fight them out in the open, where it's a lot easier to go and fight them eventually. What does this mean? As well, I want these guys to start moving further along, obviously. So, do you cross there or down there? Well, either way, they'll be across, but since I'll be moving there, let's keep going. That's not the speed card. I'm not saying it's impossible that it's empty, but I don't have the vision to see whether there's any unit in there. I do now. But can I enter? I can't. Well, that is certainly a shame. Although, I'm surprised I am not. One thing that is actually quite interesting is if we take into consideration the offensive by the Germans in 1944 Wacht am Rhein, well, basically, for them to claim that this is the central ways of communication, that's only partly true, and only is the case because the Germans, they cannot really do a whole lot more. If you consider that they are confined to moving through an area between here and say here, so let's just say from Ettelbruck down here and Houffalize, and are looking to get to the Meuse River, then sure, Bastogne is pretty much the only way through which they can potentially get rail supplies, like either through Bitburg down here and then move up through Bastogne and then further down. But taking only Bastogne over here and then moving further, like, you're never gonna be able to get through the logistical nightmare that you're in, even if you do cross wherever, at Dinant. Let's just say you're gonna cross at Dinant. Then, like, what are you gonna do? You need this rail line, then up here, to get any supplies. And obviously these are not the only rail lines that they ever had there, but you can't just assume that you can overcome the logistical nightmare that you have if Bastogne is your, like, this area is your only axis of advance through the rest of France and or Belgium. Like, from there all the way through there, can you imagine having one singular rail line somewhere around here? And maybe you'll expand a little bit potentially, but very likely you are not. Like, not to be rude, but this offensive has absolutely no chance of succeeding in real life. As much as it is interesting as a, you know, alternate history kind of scenario for, you know, gameplay purposes, in reality, Wacht am Rhein, I think in hindsight maybe, but I think beforehand, looking at logistics as well, like, it just has no chance of planning. It's like, say that you have a couple of, you know, some SS divisions, Panzer divisions, whatever. You have them across the Meuse. Potentially, the bridges are already destroyed. Very likely, the bridges are already destroyed, as, you know, the Americans knew that they were coming. It's not as if the Germans were advancing so insanely quickly that they, you know, completely did not see it coming. So obviously they're going to destroy the bridge. Then the Germans also need to repair Meuse bridges in order to even proceed further, because where are they going to get their fuel once they potentially crossed whatever? They reached the Meuse, they've crossed the river, then they're over here at Philippeville. Beyond their wildest expectations, the Germans proceeded in crossing the Meuse River and are now moving towards whatever, Charleroi or something, or Maubeuge, whatever. Then how are they going to get the supplies? Where are they going to get their fuel? Right? In the middle of the winter, with the bridges destroyed, yeah, I just don't see it happening in any possible way. I think the logistical nightmare is just too big. It's just not going to work. Yeah. That's just pretty much all I have to say about it. So that's the third, and like I said, I'm doing the easier stuff first, so I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. Now, the 13th, what I could try to do is encircle these, and let's just 295, 69, 17, yeah, so what if I go in here? That does encircle the second. Does it give me a crossing? No, it does not. Could I technically move the first in here by swinging around? I could. Okay, so the good thing about that is that they are unlikely to be able to destroy the bridge then. And let's take this too. I know it's a bit unfortunate now that I only have the artillery moving in there, but these guys cannot really move in there and then attack. So even though there's a very small force, it is also forts, so that at least helps. They're already entrenched, and these guys, the second cavalry is encircled. I'm not quite sure why these guys got out of Montmedy. Now, This is not actually the Meuse, which is further down. This is the Cheers River. So I will have to take a look how things will be going down here. Although, you know, I am happy at least to also have that. We'll see how that goes. Crossing here will undoubtedly be very challenging. Yeah, here we go. I do, however, want to try and get the crossings. Now, we should not forget... Yeah, they destroyed that bridge there. We should not forget that the Allies this time around are not confined to the Dial plan. So we'll likely see a lot more opposition in France and a lot less throughout Belgium, because the bulk of the French forces will most likely this time around not be in Belgium, or at least a significant portion. But we cannot say that for sure, I guess. Oh, well. I want to try and surround these to this 5th Cavalry unit. Or at least that's what I was hoping to do. But it seems like that's not going to proceed. Now, I am very likely going to get into some serious air engagements here. Yep. The thing though, what I don't get is that, you know, my units get hurt, but I guess they might not get destroyed. I actually... To be honest, oh, it's the 3rd Colonial Division. All right. To be honest, I have not that much of a clue of how air against air combat goes. So, to be quite frank, I do think I should try to read up on that in the manual. But we'll get to that bridge when we try to cross it. Sponsor Group Kleist. Let's move them into Neuf Chateau. Killing the 2nd Cavalry Division is probably one of the better things to do here. Oh, you have a movement card, that's nice. Let's play that on the 21st. Oh. So they... Oh. I can't undo that. Oops. Oh, that's fine. I guess the HQ is a little bit ahead of the rest of the troops then. I mean, it happens, I guess. Alright. The 12th Army, they have their HQs out there. What is... You're just under Army Group A, 40th, huh? Let's jam the 40th under the 16th Army, which say, I think that's probably a good idea. There we go. And you guys can move up here. I have more bombers. Well. I do want to engage them with the French. More heavy air combat. But I do need to bomb every single turn. And take care of everything. Now, I can probably deal with these guys easy enough. Cavalry, they've already been bombed before. So, I'm not too worried about those. Okay, well, if I move one individually, that's 48. I'll just clear those guys out now. That's probably easier than anything else. And as a border unit, they still have quite a bit of cohesion. Let's change that. And now I still have the 8th left. Now that these guys are surrounded, I also definitely want to get to Liège quickly and repair it, because that's a very good bridge for me to use, also by rail line and such. So yeah, that's definitely something that I want to invest in. Whereas the 5th, I suppose, will cross the river and then try to engage the enemy from there. Now 57, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot of attacks, so I am looking for engineers while trying to position myself, you know, fairly well. That is the goal. So 250 there, okay. So we've taken care of that. So then I can probably leave clearing this up also to the 26th, and I'll use the 4th Corps to start moving further ahead. Okay. Also, that way they're less likely to be able to escape, which is also good. So, like, I might even be able to do another encirclement over here. Which would be quite another encirclement altogether. Okay. Let's try it a bit further. So I can go around to that side, and technically my units can even cross the river, but they are not the problem. I guess 4th Panzer is, because they will be having a hard time moving further along. Now this already makes it very challenging for them to actually get across. I would be surprised if this was empty. It is indeed not empty. And I'm actually gonna use more bombing. No, I guess here. Wait a minute. Uh-oh, I just clicked something. No, I do want the extra hex info. Uh-oh. This? Yep. Alright. And actually... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So... I don't... Yeah, there we go. Okay, and I do think now we'll be ready to clear them out. Good. You have 60 left. Of course, moving can be a bit troublesome. The thing is, I want to also kill that that unit. Because that will... it would just suit me quite well, basically. Yeah, okay. Send the attackers. It's a pretty bad attack. I understand, but... Okay, still got it. One of the reasons why I wanted both of these to attack is because they get a free movement afterwards, and I actually do think it's important there. Now... yeah, you guys are quite in the way. Because this will prevent me, I think, from getting an encirclement here for sure. I think it's tricky, but I don't think they'll attack. Let's actually see though. Maybe. No. They're not giving up zone of control of that hex, no matter what, apparently. It does mean, however, I'll also need to move forward with some of those forces. I do want to repair bridge. So I'm looking for an encirclement of these Belgian forces too. That means I'm quite stretched, like this with the 7th. I get it, and that's also why I'll use the 14th to spread out a little bit over here too, or the 31st maybe. So let's use the 19th to also create a flanking force, at least on that side. Meanwhile... Ooh, okay. And then we have the 14th. Which will move even further. So we got Eindhoven moving upon Tilburg. So taking Eindhoven together with Amsterdam and Haarlem there should put the Dutch base morale at 50. Doing terror bombing would put it at 40, which would then make them surrender. So, well, it doesn't make them surrender. There's a chance that they will surrender at that point. And then each point they drop below it will make it more likely that they'll surrender. I mean, look, I just think it's too good to pass up doing terror bombing now, because otherwise what will happen is it will, like, the battle will drag out for a lot longer over here, which means that eventually we'll get less political points at the end. Although we'll have to question as well how... Like those 30 points is a lot. We'll take more casualties. Which is also a problem. Sure is tricky. I'll continue to think about it. Like, I guess defeating actual Dutch forces should also help somewhat. Okay, that wasn't too amazing. I would wager we're still going to take some casualties here. Okay, well, not too many. Yeah, so an interesting thing here. Bridge is not repaired, so I would need engineers there. Your speed card not active. See, I would think it's probably a good idea to encircle them. And, you know, that's still, again, a few Dutch forces, so... You can't move further, okay. Well, let's try to go around. So I need these engineers on that side to repair that bridge. The 255th will keep moving, but the 216th will go. And try to take this Fuck Aston guy. From this side. Even now, it's still just a disorganization, which is okay. So... Sixth Army, and then let's have them move into the Netherlands. Start disrupting them a bit as well. It's too far. Interestingly, they cannot move to Maastricht. Oh, they're almost out of points. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, that's how I want to use these guys to take care of it. Let's use the 253rd. How powerful are we here? I don't think they can break through that. Okay. They will very likely be able to break out near Hanut, but then at least for one turn, you know, turn after that, it's going to be a lot worse for them. Yeah. So we're moving close to the dial line as well. Encircle a bunch of Dutch forces. Now, another interesting thing is, what am I going to do here? Now, I think that you guys are part of what corps? There. Yep. It's a very good reason why I want these guys to die. It's interesting that they have minus 50%. And the reason why is because I actually need to break through this. I think that might be the best option. And to that end, they will get a pounding they will not soon forget. And I will also give an infantry card to the 526th. Which was a bad choice, but apparently. Well, they're still broken. And what does it mean? Well, it does mean that I have the potential to move further here. So what do I need to do? Well, oh, they went through there. I will use the 208th to block this and this. If these guys want to go into this area, I really would not care even in the slightest. So they can move at their own peril, but yeah, this will allow me to move them up. And as I said, I'm using the 208th to block that while these guys proceed through the gap. Probably a good idea. 10th Corps. Now, what would not surprise me is if I should have moved into the city. There's no taking backsies. If the water line is in large part abandoned. What I'm actually gonna do though is I'm gonna move them here, because, well, look, I don't think I'm gonna get through there, not easily anyway. Same here. So I might just as well try and find something for that. Hopefully, like, I don't think they'll stay encircled, but it just does not seem very prudent to me to stay there. I'll try to fight my way through this. I would like to see something like a retreat out there, but we'll see. It might be that I can swing south with Decisive Campaigns, get to Sertogenbos, and then circle another, serious part of the Dutch army there. And if I can, I think their fate is sealed regardless at that point, even without terror bombing. Next turn I'll get another card. We'll also see how they react to that. Currently, I don't see them going in between, so let's move you here. We already do own this now. Fleck is usually not that powerful, but the unfortunate thing about this is that I have to attack across the river. And it there in light urban. So I have to fight across a minor river, which would already give me a 25% penalty. Although at the very least the attack modifier would be the same. I don't think I can break this. So let's leave that. I will, however. Always try to do a little bit more bombing here. don't want to put an airstrike on them, but I will go in here. You're okay. What card is this? It increases the morale of a unit by 25. Sure. 3rd Panzer. 90 morale. So that would be good. There we go. There we go. I can still move them, so probably still a good idea. Oh, still got 100. And so that's attack. And over. Yeah, so I think that is probably it. Right. So I'm gonna wrap things up around here for this episode. I think we made some pretty decent progress. So we got a minor encirclement here, potentially some encirclement here. We'll see how that goes. They were a bit spread thin there. I don't really like it, but if we can cut their supplies, I mean, they'll probably still get good supplies for now, but maybe we can prevent that in the near future. So it'll be interesting to see how we potentially get to cross the Meuse River. We're approaching it at several locations, and yeah, the one at Sedan is probably the most obvious, but right, we'll see. Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to all my Patreon supporters, which is Dungeon Pastor, Thomas B. Marshall, C-Data, Swords, Pumlarau, and Tomislav Trillian. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. See you next time, and bye-bye.